Let's get to it. My nigga said perfectionism is a well furnished cage. Either you can experience life or you can be perfect, but you have to give up one to gain the other. What area of your life has it been hardest to let go of your desire for perfection?
Yeah, I was just given thought to like I don't know, like I've been more on this path of like fuck it, let's see in life lately, which is not how I grew up at all. Like I was very perfectionist all the time, and so I was just realizing that. And even I was thinking about the interview with like Will Smith and Jay Shetty, where he's just like, like this is university. Like you're here to experience and learn and grow and ascend and all these things, but you have to break out of this mindset of trying to be perfect, which really doesn't even exist. Like you can spend so much effort trying to be perfect and realize that none of that shit mattered. And I was thinking about like what was the defining moment for myself where I had to realize that perfection doesn't fucking matter. And I was thinking, I think that was the moment where I hit my divorce. Is because I realized I had made a bunch of decisions on trying to be perfect and trying to fit into this mold, and that shit still didn't fucking work.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this ain't even real. Like, I really feel caged in trying to fit this idea of perfection and not just experiencing life and learning and just figuring out what's what and what do I like and what do I don't like, and like how do I want my life to look, how do I want to co-create this thing, and like all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I think that was the first time I realized like there there really weren't a lot of crazy, I'm trying to phrase this right, the consequences of me doing what I felt I needed to do were significantly less than the consequences of continuing to try to be perfect. Like being choosing to stay in that cage would have been way more damaging to me than to just be like, fuck it, let's just see, let's see where this goes.
Right.
So I was just interested, like for y'all, I know, I'm sure most people deal with some level of trying to battle like perfectionism. And so I was just interested, like either kind of like if there was a moment for y'all that was like made you go like, oh yeah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna just rock through life and like figure it out as I go and realize that like everybody's just figuring it out as they go and don't nobody got this shit dialed in. Or like what is an area currently that you constantly battle like trying to be like perfect?
I mean, I think perfect for me uh, died after I was working at something for 18 years, and that shit ended in an injury. So I feel like that kind of stopped my drive for, not the drive for perfection, but realizing that even when you are being perfect, like there's still a bunch of factors that are outside of your control. So it completely changed. It was a fucking long process, but it was a changing of the guard basically on understanding oh shit. If there are other factors in play, and then shit even further, like when you factor in other people's position in a part of that story for you, when you're striving for perfection, and then other people have to actually play a position as well, and you have to find a level of dependence on somebody else doing their job perfectly too. So I think it's just a bunch of but too many factors that go into play for you to really be hard bent on what perfection actually entails. Now you can do a lot of things and cover up a lot of things and then mask it as perfection afterwards, and I feel like that's what people end up doing. And that's where people get it all misconstrued on what like somebody's being perfect or somebody is perfect. You know what I mean? Is that you only get to see that they've did well at something, strive at something and did well at something, and then now they're reaping like the rewards of it, and then that's all you get to see. So you didn't get to see the process of them like grinding it out and like misfiring and failing and stuff like that. So it really throws off what you actually see as what perfection actually can be. To me,
For me, the thing I struggle with perfection now is color correcting. And I know, but I'll be sitting there like looking at all the different footage. I'll be like, this shit just look off,
Right.
and I'll spend hours,
Right.
and then I have to just tell myself, you know what, you ain't gonna get it. But
Right.
then even after I say that, it will still be more hours of me messing with it, trying to get it all the way right, and then I'll upload it, and you notice I'll call you and be like, I did the best I could with the color correction, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it.
Meanwhile, other niggas' podcasts look crazy. It's that I read. Shout out JoJo.
seen one.
Gave me a copy of Awkward Black Girl. We'll talk about Issa today too, and the premiere of the final season of Insecure and shit. But reading her book about the process of getting the series started, the YouTube series well before the show, and it was like nigga, it was the MacBook camera, and then it was then she convinced Pops to get a little bit of gear. That shit got stolen, and it was it was just all these different hurdles. But just getting started was the point of it all. And then you listen to Combat Jack, you hear all these other stories, and it's like, wait. So to B's point, it's like, wait, don't nobody know what the fuck they doing for real? Like no
None at all.
everyone's a novice, but and it's a really intentional way to demean how invested folks have been into achieving their goals. So when Q-Tip was telling the story about Meg Thee Stallion, everybody wanted to focus on the part that Tip lost Meg Thee Stallion. I was like, wait, Meg been doing this? Like she did? Because the thought was she just popped up out of nowhere. But if she had been grinding, it's like what is this obsession with like overnight success? And it's like that don't exist. Even if it did happen fast for them, it was still 3 years in the making, or somebody start. You know what I'm saying? There's these other variables that go into place and are hardly ever valued. And so for me, I was working at the staging company, and nigga Yeezus came on, and it was the first time where I didn't overthink anything. That shit comes on, and it's drum and bass, like borderline techno, and this nigga's rapping over it, and then out of nowhere it's a soul sample. Give you what you need.
That was so amazing.
I said, this nigga's out of his mind. I got up from my desk, went and handed my keys and my BlackBerry, and left, nigga. And my grandma was like, what? It's like, bruh, if a nigga can do this, the artwork was no artwork. It was the clear CD. The artwork is no artwork, nigga. You're not gonna tell me what to do and how to do it. I know what y'all thought y'all was gonna get, but this is what you need. And it was so fearless to me. I was like, bro, I can't keep pretending like music doesn't mean as much as it means to me. As art and art direction and being a creative it's my everything, bro. It's the only thing that makes sense. The rest of this shit y'all can have. Like, none of it makes sense. And so then it was like, oh, I'm about to just stop playing. And I did, and it was the hardest, it's the hardest like 5.5 years of my life, bro. Like scary, like fucked up. But build with you in the process. Me and my niggas start a show and meet all these great people along the way. So it's kind of like, had I not jumped off the cliff, I don't know what I'd probably still be at that staging company, nigga. Like 400 pounds, because the taco truck was right there, nigga. And they pull up at 6, nigga. We open at 6. The taco truck is there. You get breakfast, lunch, and a snack, nigga. What? Guess where I'm going? Hey, I got the nigga number. I was calling in my burrito 15 minutes before lunch. Like, I got good at it, nigga. I figured out my system.
And burrito trucks be for the low, nigga.
For
That's
the
like,
low, nigga.
Yeah,
a
nigga,
super
like,
burrito for $4? What?
That's crazy.
I'm there every day. If you like that clip, you can watch more up here, or you can subscribe right down there, or turn your notifications on so you never miss anything to do with Meet the Brave podcast.